Earlier this month, you became the first ever Premier League defender to reach 60 assists. What does go through your mind? We have Mo Salah on the show, and he talks about when he pulls back his foot, he looks at who he's passing at in that front three. He knows whether they like to run onto the ball, if they need space, if they like it right to their feet. Do you know the same? Are you going through your mental file cabinet as you pull your foot back to set up Mo or one of the other forwards to score?
Mo can receive any ball, to be honest, but we have a connection where over the top, or he's a runner. He likes to get in behind and then be isolated 1v1. He knows whichever way I pass the ball, he knows what to do.
My guest today has been with Liverpool Football Club since he was just 6 years old. He's proceeded to craft some of the team's greatest collective memories. A Scouser born and bred, his legend is reinforced by local rappers like Hazy declaring, "I'll be right back like I'm Trent." It's a joy to welcome the returning pride of West Derby. It's Mr. Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Hello, Rog.
Trent, it's been an incredible season. You're Liverpool under Arne Slot, top of the table, top of that Champions League pile. And you said recently, the tactics are mind-blowing if I'm being honest. I don't think anyone would have said we'd be as good as we are. It has been a surprise. You've lived it from the inside. So how do you understand and explain it?
I mean, it probably makes more sense from the inside than the outside. Because I think a lot of people are probably scratching their heads right now thinking, how's it possible? I think if you look at a lot of teams recently, especially after such a big figure leaves a club like Liverpool, it's hard to replace. And there's always a kind of a period of, going through the motions, really, I think, for other clubs. But for us, it's been so smooth and we've just cracked on with it. And I think it was quite obvious from the first few sessions that we were going to have a clear identity that suited the players. The managers came in, not tried to change too much, but almost, put his twist on the way that we played before. So it's not been a complete change. So I think the adjustment period was really, really fast.
Yeah, he's turned so much footballing consensus wisdom on his head, Arne. They say you need big players to come in last summer. They say it takes time for a manager to adjust to the Premier League. And they always say it's impossible to be the man who follows the man. But tactically, can you put in your own words, what's different about the team this season?
I think we're so kind of assured that we're going to get results in games. I think because we believe so much in game plan, and I think it's always important. I think especially under a new manager to have a relationship that works both ways, which is what we've got. I think he needs to believe in us that we're good enough to carry out the game plans and go and get the results, and understand and apply what he tells us to do. And then, likewise, us as players, we need to see that the style of play and the tactics and the game plans are working and will get us results. And I think from the first few games, we really got that. And then from then on, when you've got that belief flowing both ways, it's always going to be a good journey.
Well, what's he like from the inside? Because from the outside, Arne seems so chill, so calm. For a football manager, almost humble. What's it like at half-time? What happens in that Liverpool changing room? Because the adjustments he makes in the second half, they've constantly been game-changing.
Yes, his personality is very, very chilled. The best way to describe it is just things are black and white. They are what they are. There's not too much emotion that goes into things. It's half-time, come in, tell us exactly, very clearly how the opposition are playing, how they're pressing us, the adjustments we need to make. And then it's kind of just do that and we'll win. That's literally the message. If we do this in the second half, we're going to win the game. Just because this is how we break them down.
You're a local Liverpool lad, Trent. You grew up within walking distance of the old Melwood training ground. First time I interviewed you, you talked all about how you'd look through that hole in the wall to glimpse Stevie Gerrard training. You now live in a city where there's a massive mural of you near Anfield. The cops sing about you as the Scouser in our team. Those local connections, as that Scouser, Do you feel things more in good times and the pressure in times of challenge?
I mean, I don't know, because I've got nothing to compare it against, if I'm honest. So I don't know whether I feel it more than others, but I definitely feel it, of course. I've been a fan, I know the emotions that are in the game. I've got the people around me, all fans and supporters, so of course I probably see it, and I'm more open to it than what other players are. Of course, I've got a lot more connections and friends who love the club, so I would say I probably feel it, or I'm more open to it, but whether I feel it more or less, I don't know, if I'm honest.
It's all you've ever known.
Yeah.
I mean, it's talking about all you've ever known. As a young footballer coming through, you played all over the field. You've been a winger, a centre-back. Steven Gerrard, in his autobiography, said you could play as a number 6. You didn't make the move to right back, I think, until you were 17 years old. Mm-hmm. When you think about your own game, Trent, what is it that you most enjoy doing on a football field? How do you self-describe the part of the game you take most pride in?
For me, it's always been passing. For me, I've always admired it. I think from a very young age. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a era where the passes of the ball were incredible. So I was able to grow up watching Gerrard, Alonso, Beckham, Pirlo, the Spanish legends as well. Within that, so I was very, very fortunate to grow up witnessing that. So I think from a young age, I just always admired it. I thought it was a real art and a skill, and an artistry to it. Just everything that goes into it, the way to pass, the technique that you use, the speed of your pass. Every pass is delivered, or should be delivered, as a message, without having to talk. I think the person who receives the ball should know, just from how the ball's played to you, what the situation is for you, whether you can turn, whether you have to play it back, whether it's in space or not. They should understand what your thinking was through the pass.
What is your thinking? I mean, earlier this month, you became the first ever Premier League defender to reach 60 assists. What does go through your mind? We have Mo Salah on the show, and he talks about when he pulls back his foot, he looks at who he's passing at in that front three. He knows whether they like to run onto the ball, if they need space, if they like it right to their feet. Do you know the same? Are you going through your mental file cabinet as you pull your foot back to set up Mo or one of the other forwards to score?
Yeah, I think you understand your players, what they like, what they don't like, and what gives them the best chance to score or put them in a position where they can attack the defender. I know Mo Mo can receive any ball, to be honest, but we have a connection where over the top, or he's a runner. He likes to get in behind and then be isolated 1v1. And he knows whichever way I pass the ball, he knows what to do. And what I mean by the pass. But yeah, I think you've just got to understand your players and understand what they appreciate and what they don't really.
We mentioned your mural, which is on the corner of Anfield Road, just by the stadium. It's got your words on it, Trent. I'm just a normal lad from Liverpool whose dream has just come true. I mean, Trent, you've won everything there is to win with your club. The Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup, pair of Carabaos. What are you dreaming about? What else would you like to accomplish? Other than beating Mo Salah at chess?
Of course, winning more trophies, but I think on a personal level is a legacy, building a legacy. I think that's something that is important.
A legacy is what, Trent?
I think just being spoken about in the highest regards. I think, especially after you've finished. So I think in 10, 15 years, if I'm spoken about as one of the best right backs or the best right back, then that's what I'm playing for now, I think, and using it as motivation.
Last question. This season, we're asking every player we speak to, if you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, one tune, what would it be and why?
I would say I'm old school, I'm super old school, so this might shock people, but I'd say Never Too Much, Luther Vandross.
you can't go wrong with something like that. It's as smooth as you're passing. Trent, to you, your team, your city, thank you, mate.
Thank you very much.
Courage.